massive customization revamps coming in The Last Titan. It looks like we have new animations and things being data mined here. So are we getting more customization? I don't know. Like, Blizzard was doing this for a while where they were giving more and more customization to different races. I mean, if you look right now at the current races that have been added to the game most recently, looking at like the Earthen or the Drakthir or even the Haranir, right? The amount of customizations those classes have, or I should say races have, versus the older ones, yeah, it's pretty daunting in terms of the difference between them. Are we getting more and more customizations here? Let's see what our friend Thorin has to say about new customizations coming in The Last Titan.
So one of the biggest features we can expect to see in the very near future is the giant revamp of player customization. And no, we're not talking like reskins to more options. We're talking about a complete change to the whole system. We're talking completely custom animations to classes, races, and specs. We're talking about a completely different way your character is just going to interact with the world. We're talking about customizing your actual spells. This feature has actually already been confirmed to be coming prior to the midnight release. It was said to be coming later down the line as this one big feature. Now, as it's not coming in midnight based on the roadmap, this is very likely a Last Titan feature. So far,
Blizzard said this? I forgot they said this if they said it. They said we're going to get more customization options with like our spells and stuff? I had no idea.
We don't know if The Last Titan is going to have something big like housing, and this is exactly what they need to sell the expansion, like something this big. So what is this player customization and what can we expect to see? 12 Point On is out Midnight Season 2, and right now is like the perfect window of opportunity for you to really up your game to enter Season 2 with a very good plan. Overgear is offering the best WoW coaching, so don't learn the routes from outdated guides, don't go into the first raid nights blind. Overgear pairs you with the best WoW players to give you direct one-on-one time. They will live review your talents, gem links, raid tactics, and it's all up to date, literally up to today. So they will coach you with a new raid and you can save so much time and you can seriously get ahead of the curve. Best of all, for this opportunity, they just came out with the biggest discount code yet, Dorans12, but it's only valid until the end of August, which is honestly the biggest discount they had offered, so I would use the opportunity. So use Dorans12 to get ahead of everyone.
There it is.
So, if you remember, this was actually one of the biggest bits of news that we had gotten since midnight, as we had a really interesting interview back in February that talked—
Wait, what does this say? Blizzard isn't going to let World of Warcraft players suffer from outdated character customizations for long, but it's going to take some time to fix. Okay. When was this? 2026 February.
Quite a bit about player customization, and actually not just player customization, but all the associated parts of player characters, from spells to general animations and combat animations, and just changing the way your character interacts with the world, from you playing your character to the in-game cutscenes. So the big thing about the customizations that Blizzard has realized over the years is that this has kind of been something that has just been patched and patched all the time, and the whole system is just kind of clunky. Like, if you noticed over the past 2 years, every few months you get some new customization for a certain race, an eye color, you get a haircut, sometimes for multiple races, sometimes for only one. And while this is cool, I mean, Blizzard did acknowledge that this is a problem, and it just doesn't make it fair for other players that are not playing this new updated race. Like, the problem comes from the fact that newer races like the Drakthir and the Haranir feature
way
like
more
really
customizable
deep options for customizations, from micro patterns to very distinct bodily details. This really then kind of stands out from the classic races, like the original ones. Like, some models have been updated in Cataclysm, some received a few updates later down the line, some have been half updated, and this—
A lot of people say this was the Disneyfication of WoW. A lot of people don't like the new models. They feel like they became too cartoony. I don't mind. I think you know, I like the newer animations and stuff. I think spell animations are much nicer now, but some people just like the old shit.
Really starts to create a big problem. It's not like every race has exactly 10 options for eyes, but some are completely different, some are much more limited in terms of options they have available. So about half a year back, a bit more than half a year back, we got this interview from Maria Hamilton, the design director, that confirmed that Blizzard is currently in the works on an all-at-once approach for this problem that they soon plan to solve. They talked about how they had just revamped the entire transmog system, how they went with the player housing as this like major feature of the game. Then they talked about how they plan to do player customizations as this one giant new feature that will be announced in the future. Like, this is going to be a whole new system. Now,
Clarmidia says those new models that we just saw were from Kata. Yeah, that was really the last time that we saw big revamps. I think, didn't Warlords of Draenor have some like additional revampage shit that happened? I don't know why that expansion sticks in my mind as something that did something to our classes and our races. I don't know what it was, but anyways, yeah, definitely it was Kata that changed a lot. Is it Draenor? Yeah, what about it? Probably you give me a hug, but not. Look, I don't remember exactly what it was. I remember Kata having the old models. So was it Draenor then? Am I right? Was it Wad that changed the models to the newer shit? I think it was. He just said it in the video. Everyone have amnesia or something, man.
This is where the last title comes in, and BlizzCon. Recently, we got some Blizzard employees tweeting that BlizzCon this year is going to be absolutely crazy, that we can expect a ton of news. The reason this feature makes sense for the last Titan is because, well, they don't really have a massive new system that we know of at the moment that is going to be planned for the expansion. The War Within got Delves, Midnight had player housing, and the last Titan could very likely have this player customization. It's kind of like a small ode to the dance studio that never came to be, last time we went to Northern. Now, we are actually expecting something pretty big. As I said, I'm not talking about just a couple of reskins, a few more features for some races. Like the whole UI is definitely getting worked on, and we're expecting certain changes to models, like how we had the orc posture that you could toggle. This type of system you could expand to other races, giving you more posture and like height options. Potentially, it is even possible that it could get a bit more sophisticated with sliders, but very likely not something akin to Skyrim, where you can create completely different characters. They're not going to redo the system from the ground up, but more like...
I know people like sliders in games, and I totally agree. A boob slider would be fantastic. It's probably the one slider we need. But other than that, I do feel like sliders enable people to make stupid looking shit. Like we all know, a lot of WoW players are degens, and you'll get like Dr. Eggman looking guys where like somebody slides up the legs like crazy tall, then makes a really short, fat, wide body. Like people just make clown looking characters. I did always appreciate that, at least in WoW, all the characters kind of look cool. Like there's very similar silhouettes with a lot of guys. So I do like that about WoW. But could we have more character customization? I think, yeah, like the new characters. Like give humans as much as the Harnier in terms of customization. I think that would be fine. I don't know if I want sliders on everything, because people make weird looking shit.
Like they're going to streamline it and they are going to expand it. The big thing though that people miss here is the fact that this is planned to be a system. This was actually one of the biggest bits of news from this interview. They were actually talking about spells, they were talking about class and spec themes, as well as role and identity animations, which is huge. Not like the leaning animations we had gotten or some small emote, just like something that would define your race, class and spec, which when you think about it significantly changes your interaction with the world. For example, with role and identity, they were talking about how certain classes will have different stances and casting animations that would be specific to that class, or more specific than it currently is. The idle poses would also be different as well, so that all the races don't feel like they're just standing in this in-game cutscenes like these cardboard characters. Interesting enough, they were even talking about custom movement systems that would further make the current races unique. But the cool thing though, they mentioned like the glyph system, like how originally it allowed minor customization for like spells.
I always talked about this. But I've always talked about the glyph system and how Blizzard just like, it feels like they abandoned it. Like even with hero talents and how, you know, oh, we can finally play as a Dark Ranger. I was like, why didn't Blizzard just iterate on the glyph system and make it better? That's how you could have played as a Dark Ranger, because glyph system, what it used to do was like create customization in your class. Like it was a cool thing. Oh, instead of turning somebody into a sheep, I can turn them into a penguin now. Like there were all these little classic changes to your spell animations and stuff that you could do through the glyph system, and then Blizzard kind of dropped that shit. They stopped really iterating on it. So yeah, I do think the glyph system was fun. I thought it was a cool thing, and it's something that Blizzard just left there that they could use again to create some more customization.
This new system could be what the glyph system wanted to be. Potentially, you should be able to customize your spells and like the casting animations, which would make your characters stand out from other characters and even characters of the same race, class, and spec. Furthermore, in that original interview, they mentioned that the real reason they even decided to work on this project was player housing, which was a large project as is that they had worked for years on, because player housing has a ton of features for your character and it focuses on your character. So the new customization kind of comes in naturally. Like it kind of merges together with the player housing, because your character will be in this new system and you'll have a lot more options to actually interact with the said player housing. Now, why I think this could be related to The Last Titan, first, of course, is what I already mentioned. The new system is the kind of things they need for the expansion announcement. Like, this is the kind of selling point they need for, like, the... To get players to play
like on the box
Titan. However, the other big thing is that this interview was from February this year, which was just a little bit before Midnight release, and in this interview they clearly stated that this won't be happening soon, very likely not in Midnight, and this was confirmed because we already got the Midnight roadmap. Like, unless it comes in 12.2, it might happen, but until then we are not going to get this feature. Also, realistically,
I mean, I agree with Doran. I think that this feature would probably be a Last Titan feature. This would be something that, like I said, on the box feature. It's an old way of saying, like, oh yeah, this would have been something that would have been on the box if we were still buying this game from retail stores. I think this is going to be a Last Titan thing.
This is a pretty big and exciting feature as well. It's not something that generally just comes in a patch. This is something they sell
flying combat,
with.
yeah.
This is exactly the type of feature you would see on BlizzCon, and this BlizzCon in particular, if the rumors are true, is set to be huge. I mean, the leaks kind of add to this, but we're expecting such an insane amount of news this year in September, from The Last Titan to new features, from Classic Plus to potentially an animated series to maybe an RTS. All sorts of stuff is going to be happening for the Warcraft franchise. The thing is, though, this feature is not actually speculation.
And I wonder if they're far enough along that they're going to actually announce like the animated series or anything at BlizzCon this year. Probably not. That might be like a post-World Soul Saga thing or like whatever, but it would be cool if they did.
Like, I'm not just like talking about maybe this is something they would be interested in. Like, it's not something they can just hint at. Like, this is actually coming. I mean, they confirmed this. We just don't know the date. So if it's not coming in Last Titan, it's certainly coming in 14.0. 14.0 could make sense because we're getting some hints that it could be a return to the old world and a big revamp to old Azeroth. But realistically, the final expansion of the saga also needs this kind of feature. Honestly, I think with the way the saga has been going so far, they do need something like this, some really interesting new thing to really drive players in for the finale. I mean, so far the saga has been just going all over the place for the players, and I do think they sort of need like this popular new feature to really bring back people in, some interest in for the final expansion, which by all accounts should be the biggest one yet. Let's be real. I mean, the whole saga so far has really just been like a pre-patch for the Last Titan. Thanks for watching. Check out a potential revamp coming to Classic Plus zones that we could learn very soon about by clicking on the screen, and subscribe to my brand new Witcher Lore channel by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Nice video overall. Cool stuff. They should bring destroyable build. You mean like Wintergrasp? They should bring Wintergrasp back. Oh, seriously, we're going back to Northrend. I want to see Wintergrasp come back. Those destroyable walls and stuff. Yeah, man, that was cool. Yeah, listen, we'll see if this actually ends up happening. They did a talk about this, I guess, during the announcement of the World Soul Saga, or right before midnight, actually. So I can't imagine this being like a post-Last Titan thing. Has to be in the Last Titan. I don't think it's going to happen at midnight. And I do think players would like it if they actually did it. So this is a good one. We'll see if it ends up happening. As Ray said, nice video overall from Doran.